Disco X on the line, just as I suspected. No one really gets over me. I'm unaffected. Why would you try to ever put me second? You're just another groupie to me. No, I'm out here single, and I need some real. Now I got standards, give a fuck how you feel. I'm out here single, tell me what's the deal. Now I got standards, give a fuck how you feel.
What's good, everybody? Happy Monday. Excited to have you with us right here on the Betting News Network to finish off your Monday. Welcome to your afternoon Betspresso. That's V-Sauce. That's Danny Burke. My name's Sweatpan Jesus. Stoked to have you guys here, Chad. Thanks for stopping by to finish off your manic Monday. Hopefully it wasn't that bad of a Monday for you guys out there. Excited to have you with us, boys. Happy Monday. You can go ahead and get the niceness out right now, and then you can start yelling at each other in a little bit. How we doing? Go to muted. There you go.
Not good at all. I'm not having a good time. I called to inquire about donating my ACL to Tucker Craft. They said that's not something that they do. I don't know. But outside of that, I'm not having a good time. Victory Monday isn't as fun without the victory. So
it doesn't feel as good without the victory, does it?
Kenny?
Oh, I mean, look, I obviously feel fantastic about what transpired, but then there's obviously a part of me too, V, where I feel guilty for celebrating a win that shouldn't even have come down to it. Like after acting like we had just won the Super Bowl because that was one of the craziest finishes to a game I've ever seen, then you realize, well, it would have been a lot better if we were in the Bengals position and had won it, not the team that blew the double-digit lead in like 90 seconds and then needed that to win. But look, you know, a Bears win and a Packers loss, you got to take them while you can, because seldom does that really occur in my lifetime, at least. So it's not even like that. It's like how the Packers lost, who they lost to. I obviously have my comments. I know V watched a lot more intently than myself, and certainly eager to hear his assessment of the game. But hey, this is why we do it. You know, we get to rotate who gets to be pissed off, celebratory, and, you know, frustrated, all of that. SBJ's in his nice little bubble if he's accepted what his team has been for quite some time. So he gets to save himself from that now. But again, it's like I keep saying, it's uncharted territory that the Bears are winning games.
I think a little bit of common ground that me and Danny can find is the fact that the Lions lost, right? The Lions lost. That's always good.
We might talk about the Lions. So we're going to play the good, the bad, and the ugly today on Monday. As you guys can see, we're also going to talk about Monday Night Football, which is going to be a fun one tonight in Jerry's world as the Cardinals take on Dallas to round out Week 9. And then we're going to talk about the big NBA slate tonight, boys. Obviously, college basketball is rip-roaring and starting today. The guys on Up Your Units covered it earlier today. There's scribbles at bettingnews.com if you want to go get involved with some CBB. But we're talking about the pros on Betspresso today. Thanks for stopping by, chat. Chat's already rocking and rolling. Jay Meezy's a Bears fan. Yeah, he knows what's going on. What's up, Alex? How we doing? Broncos rocking and rolling. We might talk about the Broncos in a minute too. Yeah, it's absolutely. Actually, and you know what, Alex? We can, because Danny feels the same way. So did he break his leg? Like, what happened? I didn't see the play. Was it like a bad play or something? I know he's out for the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah. Did you not see that, V?
Oh, my God. No, I didn't.
Yeah, Raiola's
Yeah,
done.
he had a broken fibula. Yeah. And you know what? I'm watching that game, obviously, and it looked brutal right when it happened, to where, you know, we always overreact with injuries, but V's the only medically, qualified person here. We always go like, oh, it's that injury, this injury. No, we don't truly know, but not that I thought it was like a broken fibula, but I'm like, there's no way he's playing the remainder of this season after watching this. And then they flashed him on the sidelines and he's like walking around and he's telling Coach Rule, after we learned, to like let him go back in, which he didn't do. And then it goes to him being out the rest of the season. So I don't know how he's able to walk on that. I don't really get how that injury works necessarily, but yeah, it looked pretty gruesome. just to rant for briefly in that game, another completely winnable game for the Huskers, blackout and everything. Biggest game of the year up to that point, clearly against a ranked USC team coming to the Midwest in colder weather. And they played like cowards. They played like absolute cowards. Matt Rule has 4th and short, and a team you're just gashing on the ground elects to do a 52-yard field goal, which is stupid to do with any college kicker, let alone one in Nebraska who's unstable as is. You're on their own territory. And what are you expecting? Like, even if you hit the field goal, it's only 3 points against a Lincoln Riley-led team. Like, you go for it at home as an underdog against a ranked team. That just shows you have no trust whatsoever. And obviously, he was way short. USC gets the ball over. I think they score a touchdown drive. It was just so dumb, so weak-minded. I saw someone have a good take about it. Matt Rule needs someone to help him on the sidelines. Great program builder, right? Great recruiter. Terrible in game so far. It sucks to say, but that's the way it is. And that's my rant for Nebraska. It could go forevermore, but and now it sucks because I'm sweating out over 7.5 wins with such an easy schedule. Raiola's out for the rest of the year, so we'll see. We're hoping and praying for 2 more wins.
I think the thing that pisses me off the most you said I'm done with the Titans, which I am, which makes me feel a lot better on Sundays. But like the only thing I can't stand is when coaches just coach like they ain't got no cojones. Like the day we live in nowadays as sports fans, like you just got to have some cojones sometimes and trust your players and go out there and get it.
The last thing really quick, it's like if you don't get it on 4th and 1, trying to go get a first down and keep possession, score a touchdown, it's the same result as you missing a field goal, which is meaningless 3 points really in that game. It just made no sense whatsoever.
Before V Talks, we do have a takeover Embiid subbing. Starting the vibes today. Thanks so much, Embiid. We appreciate you, big dog. Big vibes. If you're watching us on YouTube or on X, we appreciate you tuning in wherever you guys are hanging out with us. But come on Twitch, twitch.tv/betting news. It's a way better viewing experience, and you get to hang out with our chat, and you can drop some subs and support the channel if you're feeling so frisky. But yeah, do you guys remember in recent years, and I don't want to like talk about this because I don't really like gruesome injuries, but like we've had a solid pretty like 5 or 6 of them like bad ones in the last 2 months. The Tyreek Hill one, obviously Scadaboo last week. The Raiola one, I haven't seen it, but I'm assuming it's bad. Jaden Daniels last night, poor went out for him too with his elbow. That was no bueno. I can't remember. Obviously Kraft wasn't gruesome. Well, it wasn't
pretty bad. If you watch it back, you see his knee gets bang all the way this way. Initially, they thought it was the MCL, but the force because of where it was hit, right? Like on the side. But literally because of the force that he was hit with, the ACL just fucking snapped. Ugh.
Yeah, Neighbors wasn't bueno either. I mean, it's obviously with the growth of this is like, I think it's maybe this could be what it is, like just how athletic these guys are nowadays. Like they are just moving at such pace with such weight when a lot of these athletes are like 6'6" and can just fly, and like these things happen when you're that big and you're that fast and like you collide like that. Like these are the unfortunate aspects of that. So yeah, this is just a nasty word. I don't remember in recent like 4 or 5 seasons watching this much football that I've seen as many like moments where I got to go, oh no, I don't want to watch that again. No, I'm good on that.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of times when we do this, it does seem like we're falling into the trap of recency bias, prisoner of the moment. But I think you're right. And maybe part of it is because of social media and that we always see it circled. But again, like we've had social media like where people go on Twitter for over a decade now, so it does still feel like it's been more than usual. Like we were talking about it, think about like when Kevin Ware's injury happened. It seems like to me that was like the first major one that was like outstandingly gruesome, and not outstandingly in a positive way, but like disgusting manner. But yeah, you may be right. I think it's just people becoming more athletic in the sense of it's faster game, quicker cuts. So it's going to be more explosive in the good sense and in the bad sense would be my estimation of it. I don't know.
The other thing too is that, I mean, Achilles poppings are not like, they're not gruesome, but like you can see that when that happens too. We've had a lot of those recently, especially in basketball, which they've done some research as to why that's happened too. I think it's just because these guys are getting faster, strong, big, harder, better, faster, stronger. Shout out Daft Punk. And, unfortunately, the legs and the knees just can't handle it sometimes, but yeah, big bummer. Well, Chad, thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us today. We're gonna have some fun on a Monday to kick off the vibes. Maybe it's not so much for Vsauce, but drop a sub if you're feeling so frisky. We already got some sub bangs in the chat. If you want to keep rocking and rolling with it, let's keep it moving. We're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna cook some parlays at the end of the show, as always. But let's start off with our new favorite Monday activity. We're going to play the good, the bad, and the ugly. Chat, drop us what you guys saw this weekend. Let us know who was your good, who was your bad, and who was your ugly in the NFL. DB, I'll let you go first this time.
Okay.
Who was your good this weekend?
So this pains me to say it, and I took this bet, and I believe you were on the same side as me. I took the Detroit Lions laying 8 in the hook, and the longer we kind of went on in this week, I was like, man, this is just going to be a very chalky play, and maybe it just ends up bad because everybody was ragging on the Vikings, and at that time, rightfully so. The market did move it up to 9.5 by Sunday, but my good's going to be the Minnesota Vikings. I got to give credit where credit's due, man. And again, I have been a doubter of JJ McCarthy, and I still I still am. Like, I'm not going to just abandon ship here. I mean, with 14-25, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, which I look at this box score and I'm still perplexed how the Lions lost this game. It's kind of remarkable, honestly. But the defense, took a step forward for Minnesota in the last 2 weeks or whatever it was. I remember talking about on Friday, EPA success rate. Like, they were very, very bottom of the barrel in that span. So the defense stepped up and they did what they needed to. And JJ made the right throws at the right time. So it kind of pains me to do it, but tip of the cap. Yeah. The good Vikings, huge win in a spot where everything was going wrong for them throughout that quarterback room leading up into this week. Lions looked like an outstanding group off a bye spot, and Minnesota handled business. So good on Minnesota.
Yeah, I didn't bet the Lions with you, and Adam was with you on that one. I was on Gibbs because I kind of thought I was thinking the same way as you guys, and obviously Gibbs did jack shit, and the Lions kind of shit the bed in that game, and the Vikings.
That was weird.
I mean, McCarthy played well. I mean, I know you're pretty hesitant on him too. I don't know how Vise feels about him specifically as well, but I think we're all kind of in the sense of that he still has a lot to prove. But these are the types of games you can't doubt the guy's a gamer, and he went out in there and got the job done. So. This is a good one. What about you, Sauce Man? What's your good?
Man, I got to go with the Seahawks. Sunday Night Football, they came out and they just showed out. That's exactly what they did. Jackson Smith and Jigba with over 110 yards in the first half, 7 catches. His connection with Sam Darnold has been fantastic. And then not even just that, but the emergence of a guy like Torrey Holden, 2 touchdowns last night. And he's scored multiple touchdowns this year already. This is his second game with 2 touchdowns in it. He's a special teams guy that has looked fantastic for them. And he's just been great in that spot where Cooper Kupp moves to the sidelines. He wasn't physically good enough to play in this week. And now you have a guy like Horton come up, and he was fantastic. Arroyo, I think, is going to be a big piece in this offense moving forward. I think he's young and just kind of seeing more snaps as we go on. And then A.J. Barner, you know what I mean? The QB sneak, they're very creative. Mike McDonald looks very comfortable on the sidelines as well, both on the road and at home. I think they're undefeated this year on the road. And this just goes back to last year, what they did with Geno Smith. Mike McDonald performs on the road as a head coach, and he's done it with 2 different starting quarterbacks now. The Seahawks are good. Everything's so excited about this defense preseason turned out to be like 100% correct. So, yeah, I love this team.
You took mine. This I said it earlier today. I think that this team has a legitimate chance to bona fide compete in the NFC with the Eagles in the top of the list right now, and they proved it last night, mostly because of the Legion of Boom 2.0. Shout out Sook for calling that out like before the season started, like you mentioned. But JSN is the best wide receiver in football right now, unguardable. And it's not only his attention to detail. They talked about it on the broadcast last night about how him working with Cooper Kupp coming into this team has like exponentially increased his rise, which you can see it on the field, but also just the way, if you watch the replays of him running his routes, you can just tell that Cooper's been all up in his ear, or JSN's been all up in Cooper's ear being like, yo, man, what on this route, what do I need to do? And he's unguardable. The way that they're utilizing him out of the backfield too, and the way that they're just implementing this offense, as long as Sam Darnold doesn't turn into a pumpkin again in the playoffs, look out for the Seahawks, man.
That's the thing, right? It's like, is that going to be the Sam Darnold that we see again? That's why I still have my reservations, along with the fact that they can't run the ball. They're 26 in rush EPA, 23rd in rush success rate. I love the team as a whole, and they've treated me well from a betting perspective, and I kind of want them to do well. Like, I mean, it's fun watching them play as well as they did last night. And it's not like I'm going against them, but yeah, I still have my hesitation surrounding them because we just don't know Sam Darnold can show up in the brightest of spots like we witnessed last year, because it's just so similar to what was transpiring with the Vikings, to where I'm like, they still got to prove it to me. But no, they definitely deserve the attribution of being good this week. That was really impressive last night.
100%. All right, well, you put me on the spot a tiny bit, but I'll flip flop. I'll take the other team in the NFC West. The Rams, baby, my side piece. Absolutely dog walked the Saints. I mean, they should have. It was a big spread. But you know what we say, good teams win, great teams cover. And this team is a great team. And shout out Matthew Stafford, man, 37 years old, playing like an MVP. I'm just going to read off some numbers for you guys. 268.4 yards per game right now, second in the NFL. 21 touchdown passes, first in the NFL. Only 2 picks he's thrown this season. One of them against the Titans, by the way. Tied for 33rd in the NFL. That's pretty good. 113.2 passer rating. That's 6th. The Rams have the second best point differential, plus 82 on the season. Just cooking with fish grease, man. This game was over by halftime. They'd never let the foot off the pedal. Puka Nacua got a tiny bit banged up, but he didn't have to go back out there anyways. This team's really tough to stop. Devontae Adams looks like a superstar wide receiver, which he is as well, and he's their wide receiver too, which is pretty wild. So if Stafford keeps playing like this defense has been nasty too. We've talked about the defensive side as well with Verse and company on that defensive line. They can get the job done defensively against some better matchups. Look out for this team, man. The 9.5 wins is looking like a wonderful future bet that I hope can get over the line before Thanksgiving. That would be dope. Well, I don't know if it can get over the line before Thanksgiving, but you know what I mean. By the end of the month. Yeah. Shout out the Rams. They were really good yesterday, and they've been good most of the season. So it should be this division is going to be fun. We're going to talk about the Cardinals, obviously, in a little bit. But all right. Swing it to DB. Bad.
My bad was going to be the Lions, but I'm going to switch it here because we kind of talked about that game already. I'm just going to go the bad with the Bears special teams. Everybody involved on the special teams. You allowed a kickoff return touchdown to start the game. Cairo Santos just completely whiffed on one field goal that they got bailed out on because of the offsides. Then he had another one tipped, and people are, oh, it's not his fault he got tipped. No, the reason it gets tipped is because anytime he kicks from over 45 yards, he can't get it up high enough because he doesn't have the leg strength, so he has to keep it lower. He is an absolute liability every time he walks on the field. If they're not playing Jake Moody next week, I don't know what the hell they're doing. But, people like to rag on polls. I actually still give him the benefit of the doubt. The worst thing he did was extending Cairo Santos. He's the most accurate within 40 yards. Who gives a damn? If you can't be reliable over 50 yards, you are a waste of a position in this league. It's tough to say, but that's the reality. Cairo's a great, nice guy, it seems. But unfortunately, he's not a good kicker. He's not an NFL caliber kicker. So you had that played in. And then the onside recovery, of course, where it looked like no one wanted to touch the ball. They couldn't block, hit the guy's leg. Just awful all around. Hightower's got some questions to be answered to their special teams coach. So, yeah, look, it needs to be fixed, but that was bad from the special teams.
Hearing your hatred of Cairo Santos is like, it's the one time that I can see that vein start to get moving in your neck a little bit.
Nebraska,
yeah, Santos.
I was giving some of my Bears friends shit, and I was like, you guys are lucky that Loveland housed that stuff, because if he didn't, Santos was on the unemployment line tomorrow.
100%.
Tomorrow, he's going to miss the kick. They were going to cut him out before Monday, and they'll be looking for a kicker. So
no one was happier for that touchdown than Cairo Santos. You're 100% right.
That LinkedIn profile would have been ramped up tomorrow for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Sauce Man, what's your bad?
In that, I'm so glad Danny did that, because I have something very similar, and it's not the Packers special teams, even though that's been fucking terrible too, but it's the play calling from this offense. And I'm sure Danny's going to get into the ugly here with the Packers, but the play calling has been fucking atrocious. This is a QB that is the highest paid QB in the NFL. You just drafted a wide receiver in the first round for the first time in 23 years, and you have stacked this wide receiver room to the point where you are taking guys and changing them to cornerbacks. Shout out Bo Melton. I don't know, on the other side of the ball. This is a situation here in which, why are you not passing the ball? Why do you rank in the bottom 7 of pass plays per game? I understand you play with the lead. I understand all of these things, but all of a sudden you're playing the Lions and the ball's flying. You're playing the Cowboys and the ball's flying. But you come into these games against the Panthers.
Oh, that's a convenient time for that to happen.
Matt LaFleur stepped in.
Yeah, he didn't want to hear any more about his bad play calling anymore. Well, I'm sure you guys would have loved to hear V talk about rant a little bit more about the Packers not doing it well. But I will go to my bad then. I'm sure you're going to talk about this a little bit further deeper on the Packers front, so we'll save that for a second. You said it, and I mean, I'll just touch on it. The Lions, they got dog walked at home as an 8.5/9 point favorite by a divisional opponent. And not only, Danny, do you lose this game outright, you got punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
And you got out performed in the trenches, which this team kind of relies on that Dan Campbell, like grittiness, bite the kneecaps and stuff. And that, I mean, Jared Goff was running around like crazy in that game. He got sacked a bunch every time they were flashing to this game on I didn't watch this game front to back, but every time they flashed to it on red zone, he was getting sacked again and again and again in the trenches. So I just was disappointed in what I saw from this Lions team. We were all pretty high on them going into this game, and they showed that maybe they aren't quite there yet, or maybe it was just one bad Sunday. But yeah, bad for the Lions. Not a good Sunday for sure. Sorry, V. I know that Matt LaFleur called and your Wi-Fi got snipped, so it's okay.
I'm not risking the Wi-Fi again, so we can continue.
Okay, all right. All right, Danny. Ugly time. Who's ugly?
All right. Well, I'll kind of let V hop back in on this, but yeah, the ugly is the Packers. And it hasn't even just been from this game. It's been against a lot of inferior teams. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to persist when it really matters in the postseason. But still, when you look back at like a championship caliber squad, I mean, you don't have games like this. And it would be something else if it was just a one-off. But again, you lost that game against the Cleveland Browns. You had that tie against the Cowboys, the worst defense in the NFL. It's just it's every other week. It seems like the Packers are showing us another reason why they can't be trusted. I've not been a believer in Jordan Love. Yes, he had a great playoff run a few years ago that really took people by surprise, but he's more of a product of how good Matt LaFleur is. And to V's credit, I didn't watch every snap of that game. Obviously, because on my TV, I get like the Bears and I get Red Zone. So I'm just seeing the highlights of that Packers game more so. And I'm sure he did call a bad game. I don't deny that. And I think that's an issue when you try to be so run heavy with Josh Jacobs, and then you also don't have a top tier receiver. You're kind of spread out, which can be good, but then also can be bad. But there's clearly limitations with Jordan Love. He's gotten fortunate with a lot of deep throws, like you saw in Pittsburgh, you see time and time again. And it didn't go his way this past game against the lowly Carolina Panthers. But I don't care who it is, what you are, who anybody is, double-digit favorite at home, and then you're losing outright. That's absurd. So absolutely ugly are the Green Bay Packers.
You hear that whimpering behind you guys?
Yeah, the daylight savings is for anybody out there. My dog Mona is like begging to get fed right now. It's a stupid time change. So
she doesn't know what's going. She wants to get fed like the Packers offense.
I know.
It's not working. No, it was a bad look, man. I mean, everyone obviously is also talking about that terrible throw of him like scrambling around and having to throw it all the way across his body, basically right to the Panthers defender who just dropped it, which ended up being okay because they was fourth down, so it didn't matter. But bad showing, dude. 13.5 point favorite at Lambeau, losing at home. And also one more point on this too, and I said this earlier. Please, dear God, and I'm not even a fan of this team, get rid of those fucking jerseys. Those jerseys are atrocious. They are an eyesore. Get them out of the NFL. All of these like old jerseys from the past, they just all are terrible. There's not any good ones. Get them out of here. The helmets I think are kind of cool. I think that they're cool what they were trying to do. They look kind of weird though. And the jerseys themselves though, just butt ugly.
It just makes it so much better when you lose while looking like fools too. Like I don't mind if you embracing the history, but yeah.
If you put that jersey on, you better score 70 points and win by like 7 touchdowns, especially as a 13.5 point favorite. Otherwise, you're just no bueno. All right, well, I'll do mine. It's kind of in the game that you talked about. And chat again, let us know what you guys think. Your Bears got a little away with it, my man.
Oh, yeah.
They got away with it. And I mean, the offensive players after the game for the Bengals came out and said, oops, I spelled defense wrong because I was so excited to type.
Yeah, how about that, though? I mean, Chase Brown was not holding back. That was crazy.
Jamar Chase was also shouting as they were going into the tunnel, being like, "One fucking stop, one stop is all we needed." We talked about it going into the season. This defense is terrible, and they have not gotten any better, and it cost them that football game yesterday. And I mean, I know it's 60 minutes; they should have never been in that position, and blah blah blah, all of those things. But like at that particular point, you cannot allow a seam pass to go down the middle of the field and score a touchdown. When you've just done all of these incredible, miraculous things, just tackle the fucking guy. So the Bengals defense is atrocious. They've been atrocious all season long, cost them that football game. And unfortunately, it was one of those situations where you win that game and maybe you can kind of go, okay, Flacco cooked 400 plus passing yards. He's been great for this team. You can get back into the point of Joe Burrow coming back and being competitive for the rest of the season until that happens. this was a big loss for them. We'll see what happens in the rest of this division as the Ravens try to climb back in it. The Steelers look great, so that didn't help either one of those teams. But just ugly, ugly stuff from this Bengals secondary especially, but also the defense as a whole.
Even the cornerback, he looked like he was ready to cry after he let that up. Like they flashed his face for a real quick second, and you could just see because he knew what was going to come. He knew that like this is the entire narrative, that he let the entire team down, and they'd already given up like 40 points. Come on.
Oh yeah, they were terrible. All right, you didn't get to hear most of your rants. So you'll just have to go watch, or Danny's rant on the Packers. You'll just have to go watch it back next time. I'm sure that was a very convenient losing of signal that worked out for you.
Trust me, I had a lot more to say too, and I was gonna just pile on with Danny, so I had no arguments.
You got a lot of the catharsism out in the chat earlier on Any Given Wager, which was fun to see. Who's your ugly?
I'm gonna have to see my wrath later on. It's gonna have to get in front of the camera and just unleash on there. Mm-hmm.
Who's your ugly?
My ugly, man, I think it's the Saints. They just got smacked around, and I understand, but is this guy ever going to be your starting quarterback? Because if he's not going to be, why are we wasting time with this? In my opinion, he's not giving you anything better than Spencer Rattler was. Yeah, Rattler had the really bad game, even the really bad back-to-back games, if you go back to that Bears matchup. But everything seems discombobulated down there in New Orleans. Kellen Moore has been good at times, and you can see it on the offense and glimpses and flashes of what they can do. But you saw the first three target share for Olave go down, and that's, in my opinion, not something you want when you have an elite wide receiver like Olave. He was starting to develop a little bit of a rapport with Rattler. You guys were never supposed to be competing for a postseason spot. I know it's been worse than maybe expectations, but the change at QB didn't really make any sense to me whatsoever, and they didn't look any better. So, like, the Saints, the franchise, everything, the decisions they're making right now, it's just all ugly.
I thought it was a weird decision because you drafted Shuck obviously to come in there and try to compete for this job. Lost the job. Rattler was the one that played better and obviously was. And I just don't like. You still need to. This guy's still young too. What is this, like his third season in the NFL? Like he's not like he's been around the block a bunch. Like you need to give this guy a proper chance. And I don't think that he's been that bad for this team. I mean, they've been hanging around in games. Like maybe that Bucs game wasn't a fantastic showing, but like the Bucs are one of the better teams in the NFL, regardless of how you feel. So. I agree. This team is bad. The franchise is also kind of in shambles. I have an Alvin Kamara on my fantasy team, and he got me negative points. So that goes to show you how well that went. Yeah, this is a good one. They're pretty ugly right now.
That sounds like fun. Sorry, Gerald, just put that in chat.
No, I was going to say, it makes no sense unless you want to put on your conspiracy tinfoil hat and they're hoping to just solidify the first pick in the draft, because I don't know why you would put Shuck over Rattler. Rattler clearly – not somebody you want as your starting quarterback, but was obviously keeping them competitive in a lot of those games. This team almost beat the Buffalo Bills on the road like a month ago. It's like, what did you expect out of this season? I mean, not like Rattler is in the best situation, but he'll have a long career in the NFL to solidify himself for a backup position, I think, at the very least, assuming, they go out, draft someone else. If he stays there, great. If not, someone else will snag him. But definitely an ugly team. And I do want to say one more thing. I was going to say V's connection is permitting. I was going to ask him a question about the Packers, one more, but it looks like he's holding on a little bit for dear life with the stability. That's the only thing here. I was just wanting to hear a little bit more rant about the problems and what he felt about Jordan Love. And then just like the team going down the long haul from like, if LaFleur's, been doing this consistently bad with the play calling, I mean, what's your feeling long-term with the squad?
So my feeling is I think LaFleur's a great coach. I've never been one to question him or what he brings to this team. I think he is the coach for this team, and I think his relationship with Love is super important too. What I haven't liked is his play calling this year, and to me, it's a stark difference from what we've seen in years past, because this year we're coming in as heavy favorites or at least a touchdown favorite in most games. Even looking forward to next week, we lost our top tight end, our top receiver, not even just our top tight end, our top receiver, and we're 2.5-point favorites on the Eagles, right? This is a situation in which I think he is playing more conservatively because we have the better defense, and our defense is better able to manage what other offenses look like. We have Josh Jacobs in the backfield, and he's absolutely fantastic. So you want to feed him the ball as much as possible. But there's certain things that have really annoyed me. If you look at something like he is throwing the ball at or behind the line of scrimmage at a top 3 rate in this year for no reason, when he is top 5 in completions of 20 plus yards. He is top 8 in QB rating in passing grade on passes of 20 plus yards. He is top 4 in completion rate over expected, and he is top 4 in EPA over per play. Why are you paying him this money? Why have you stacked this wide receiver room to be the 8th fewest passing offense in the NFL? Why are you passing in such a slowed down rate? You haven't even been blowing out teams. So Why are you running the ball that much? And a perfect example is in the red zone. It's 3rd and 3. And what do? You run a toss play to Emmanuel Wilson. It's not even Josh Jacobs in the backfield. And then instead of taking the points, I understand McManus, but you were in the red zone. You take the 3 points instead of going for it on 4th and 8 from about 13 yards out of the end zone. It was poor play calling there. The Savion Williams fumble to start the game didn't help the situation, but we're never playing for the kill shot. I don't have the stats in front of me because I don't want my computer to crash out, but Jordan Love put his team in a position to score yesterday 7 times. They failed to score 3 different times. 1 was a fumble, 2 missed field goals. I'm just saying he's playing fantastic, but the offense is failing around him, and the play calling has not helped the situation. And I think when the gloves come off, like we've seen against the Lions, like we've seen against Dallas, and like we saw last week in the second half of that game against Pittsburgh, because they were down going into halftime, that's when they come out and play proper football. We just didn't see it against Carolina.
I think this is something we could probably talk a lot about as an NFL-wide thing, but I'm noticing this more and more, and I've noticed this obviously yesterday watching the Titans play. And again, I've very much so lowered my expectations to where I have fun on Sundays now. It's fine. But we ran 4 Wildcat plays. One of them was on 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. We did it 4 times yesterday, as in the Titans did, and it was never successful. And I think that this is a league-wide problem, and I think that a lot of offensive coordinators do this, and it's really frustrating to watch, is they get too cute a lot of the time. And I think that it's kind of because we watched the whole, obviously, Ben Johnson working so well in the Lions situation with these pop plays, with these flash plays that end up just going for touchdowns and things like that. And it's like, yeah, those things can work, but like sometimes you just need to put these incredible, excellent players in your system in good positions and let them go execute. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not complicated. And these offensive coordinators sometimes just love to show how big their dicks are and just want to like say, oh, look at these amazing plays that I spent so much time drawing up and putting together. And like, it just ends up blowing up in their faces and they have to punt and then they lose the game because of it. So I think it's a league-wide problem. B, you're obviously dealing with it from that perspective. I watched it yesterday with the Titans. I'm sure you've seen it some this year, Danny, with the Bears, but I've seen it on a lot of teams. And it's like, just keep it simple, stupid. And that like teams like, and I know the Chiefs lost yesterday, but Andy Reid is a really good example of he does that some, but he also just like he does what is necessary in the moment to get the job done. And I feel like a lot of times coaches just want to be too elaborate with it, then that ends up causing way too much problems instead of just doing what you're good at and being excellent at that. And I think that there would be a lot better success. And I think that that's something that we're not seeing as often now because everyone just wants to show off all the time.
3rd and 3, man. You're like 8 yards from the end zone, and you run a toss play. Literally, toss plays are ran at like probably the lowest rate they've ever been ran in the NFL, and we're doing it on 3rd and 3 down in the game. My God.
Yeah, V, I remember I was watching that live, and I'm not going to lie. I bursted out laughing because it was a ridiculous play call. I mean, I don't know what the thought process was there. And then afterwards, on the 4th and long, I'm more often than not a proponent of being aggressive and going for it. But even then I was like, really? You want to like the probability of executing that was very low. One of the hardest places to execute, if not the art, is when you're going into the red zone because there's such a finite amount of space you can work with. So you're already struggling. And to do that, where if you do have that mentality of we're going to trust your defense, then that's the spot where you take the points and then trust your defense. It was odd.
Yeah, it was momentum shifting, that 5-yard loss right there. And I think that's why you have to kick the field goal. If it was a 4th and 8 and you just had an incompletion, that pushed you back 5 yards, they put your running back in the ground. You take the points and you tuck your tail and you walk away. And that was a situation where, like SPJ said, sometimes they just want to, flash, put their dicks on the table a little bit too much. When in a situation, you need to play it conservatively and move the fuck on to the next possession. But yeah, like Savion Williams has a place on this offense exclusively for red zone screen passes or little you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? We have Romeo Doubs and Matthew Golden not even being utilized in the red zone. I'm just
thank
you
for
letting
can
me
appreciate
that was cathartic. That was.
I'm sure Danny will rub salt in the wound, but then he'll help you take care of the wound. Definitely.
I do want to say one thing here. Caleb Williams has more receiving touchdowns than Matthew Golden on the season.
I got that text like 7 times yesterday, man. Oh my god!
Right when he said his name, I was like, "Oh, wait a minute! I have an anecdote about it."
Literally,
I
could go through my phone and show you the amount of times I got that text yesterday.
There you go for you, Danny, right there.
It's good.
The thing, I feel bad for V because I love V, just the nicest guy, and it's more like, and you might feel the same way about me, like from Bears fans he knows, but it's obviously me growing up around Packers fans that he unfortunately just catches the brunt of it when just so happens the Bears are looking better now when we're getting linked up. So
that's the thing. I don't understand the lore because I didn't grow up in the area or anything like that. Like I'm just I'm not new to the fan base, but I'm an immigrant fan. Let's call me that, from Canada. I'm an immigrant fan, and I love the Packers, but I don't know the lore behind all of this. So when my friends from Chicago also come at me, all of a sudden PFF grades matter because Caleb Williams was their number 1 graded QB this week. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun though. I'm here for the tit and tat.
We need to buy you a cheese head so you can actually wear a cheese head.
Dude, I've been looking. Trust me, don't worry. If we get to the playoffs, I'll have one of those things on my head on stream. Don't you worry.
I hope you make the playoffs. We'll get there. All right, let's move on. Let's talk. Whoa! Hey.
Hope is that ugly?
All right. The therapy's over. Let's move on. Let's talk about Monday Night Football. Huge game tonight, boys. Last game of Week 9. Jesus. Gerald can say that. I don't think anybody else can. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that Sook can say when we're live. Let's talk about this game tonight, boys. Kind of close out Week 9. Cardinals taking on the Cowboys in Jerry's World. 3-4-1. The damn ties are the Cowboys. Big win they could get tonight, which would help them continue to push in the NFC East. Cardinals season is slowly dwindling away. 2-5 right now. 3-point spread as we look at it. 3.5 somewhere out there as well. Huge total, 53.5. There should be a lot of points in this game. I've seen these totals before. I like the look of the over. I think a lot of people like the look of the over, but I could see this game going under. No official plays on that specifically. Danny and I talked about this earlier on Any Given Wager, Sauce Man, so I'll let you kind of lead us off here since you wrote about this game at bettingnews.com, which you can go peep V Scribbles. We're going to talk about some stuff here. Overview. What are we kind of thinking about this game as a whole?
Man, I'm thinking a lot of things. First of all is that there's supposed to be a D in Dallas, right? Like there's been no fucking defense on this team. They have been horrendous on the road and at home. They cannot stop anything. Last week, 44 points to a second-year QB. Bo Nix looked fantastic, 4 touchdowns. And that was right after I think the Cowboys got that interception and everybody thought the switch flipped. Everyone's like, oh, wait, hold on. Maybe they got it together. And then 4 touchdowns later and 44 points, they were in shambles. J.K. Dobbins had over 100 yards. And I don't know. On the other side of the ball, we're looking at an Arizona team that is, in my opinion, kind of silently benched Kyler Murray. He's back healthy. They have said that he might be used in some capacity today, but Jacoby Brissett is getting the start. And that has to do with the fact that in back-to-back weeks, they've played the Colts and the Packers. Both of those games were decided by the last possession of the game and by less than a touchdown. He has looked so much better. They're averaging 25 points per game. They have over 700 yards of total offense, and they've outgained both the Colts and the Packers in those 2 respective games. So the offense just looks a lot better. McBride's numbers have gone up. A guy like Marvin Harrison Jr.'s numbers have gone up. So I think that's kind of why Arizona's made the decision, hey, we're going to do what gives us the best chance to win this game. And instead of doing what Mike McDaniels is doing in Miami, they're going to make the change and go with Jacoby Brissett tonight. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. He has a moment or a chance here too against the worst pass defense in the league to kind of put up a ton of numbers. 20 passing touchdowns allowed, boys, and 15 have been to wide receivers. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun today, but what are you guys looking at?
Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, I could go. In terms of a side, V, I didn't end up doing anything here. I think it's just a little bit scary with two poor defenses, right? And especially when you're looking at this Dallas team to where it seems like it should be a really good spot for them. Certainly they could go out there and throw an absolute dud, but at the same time, I do lean toward them taking care of business. And we were talking about on any given wager, and I know you tuned in at one point, but that because it's at a flat three, I don't see as much value there. If you really do like Dallas, I think it is a scenario given how many points are projected in this game where, yeah, they probably would win by more than 3. So maybe you could even take the alt line at like 6, 6.5 or something like that. I don't think is a bad idea. But simultaneously, again, because of my concerns with how poor the defense is, I don't think I'll eventually get there. But I was also joking that because it's on prime time, maybe their offense looks prolific against a lackluster Arizona team. And then the narrative throughout public media is, oh, are the Cowboys making a playoff push? Like, give me a break. But, that happens every single year. It's really going to come down to, what is Jacoby Brissett going to be? Because now we've had back-to-back games from him. I don't think you get the bump from him as much as you would in the backup quarterback scenario. And he's such a common backup that, like, it's not really, oh, crap, Jacoby's in the game, and that team kind of gets a spark from him, especially in his third start. But he's got to be able to execute in the red zone, and they got to be able to run the ball because their ground attack offensively has been a nightmare. They're 28th in rush EPA, 30th in rush success rate. I get that the Cowboys' run defense has been bad, but it's a question of, all right, can the Cowboys' run defense now look good, or will the Arizona running offense now look good? Which one's going to break through? And it's just so many question marks with how many bad areas each team has that. It just seems way more attractive from a player prop perspective. And the last thing I will say is, SPJ, you're whispering about this under. You broke the curse last week and you took the under. So if you like it, I'm saying I'd support you. But if not, I totally get it. This game is terrifying. But V, I don't know if that was on our show, but yeah, SPJ did smack the one under. So we got him to finally take one and hit it.
I mean, finally, right? You kind of had to pop that cherry eventually.
I liked it straight, and I also liked it because it cashed me out on my little lotto parlay, because putting unders in like parlays with player props usually ends up like really astronomically boosting the odds, which that made me extra happy. So that'll make me look at some unders a little bit more. No, the total is high, and I mean it's high for a reason. Both of these defenses are bad. The Cowboys being especially poor in both departments. The Cardinals have been bad at particular stretches, especially in the secondary, but they've gotten a little bit better over the last 4 to 5 weeks. So, I don't want to take an under on two teams that sometimes don't stop a nosebleed. So I think maybe I'll stick this one out. I might throw it in like a lotto right before the game starts just for some fun. But I also could just see there being 65 points in this game. Do you guys know how many points have been scored in the last 5 Cowboys games? Like 60 plus or 70 plus. I mean, they had 80 against the Packers when that game ended 40-40. So, I mean, those are the types of bets where you take that under and you'd look up and it's 27-27 at halftime and you're just like kicking yourself. So I don't know if I want to get involved that way. However, I will kind of piggyback on what you talked about with Brissett. I did take his passing and rushing yards, 265.5. Now, I don't really know why this has happened, but the line has substantially dropped. It's dropped by like 7 or 8 points. The passing yards has also dropped to 238.5, which it was up to 245, 246.5 earlier today. So dropped down a little bit there. Not really super scared of that. As V said, he's been really, really good for the past 2 weeks as the starting quarterback for this team against one of the worst secondaries in football, allowing just here, there, and everywhere. 258.5 passing yards, 30th in the NFL passing yards allowed. And Brissett's actually been moving the football with his legs, too. Good for a couple of scrambles. His 14.5 rushing yards is a good way to take this, too. But 320 and 279 passing yards feels very comfortable. I feel like that there are going to be stretches of this game where they might be down a couple touchdowns, maybe a singular touchdown. And I think that Brissett's going to have to throw the football and move the ball against this bad defense. So I like the passing and rushing yards combined. I like the passing yards straight as well, or you could take the rushing yards, whichever way you want to take Jacoby. I do think that he's going to have a nice game with a chance on prime time. This might be the last time in Jacoby Brissett's career. Not to say that because do you guys know how old Jacoby Brissett is?
No.
He was 32, I think, or 37, or
no, he's younger than me. And I literally looked at that, and I felt like this guy's been in the league since I was a child. And I was like, this guy's younger than me, man. He's like 31 or 32.
Okay, then I was thinking of Matt Stafford. I think it's 30 because I looked up both their ages, oddly enough, this weekend. So, yeah.
Jacoby Brissett also has just one of those faces where he looks like he's about 50. So maybe that doesn't help him out either. But yeah, anyway. So this might be the last chance.
Calling you Unk in the chat.
I mean, it's already been accepted, Chad. It's fine. It's all good. It's just one of those things where this might be his last opportunity to be a starting quarterback in a primetime game. So, and I'm sure there's going to be some stars in the house in Jerry's world. So I think that he maybe come out and want to ball out a little bit. So let's talk about some more props. Sauceman, I know you have a pass catcher that you want to talk about. Actually, our buddy Slot talked about him a little bit earlier today, but you took a little bit of a different angle.
I did, yeah. So I'm going to Zay Jones, another NFL vet, taking the over 1.5 receptions. This is a weird one. I know you probably didn't expect me to play this one, but the line here in the minus 130, it's probably like at the limit of juice that I'm willing to pay for a prop like this. But I think the 2 receptions is just simply too low. He's hit this in 4 of the 6 games he's played this year. He's hit this in both games of Jacoby Brissett under center, and he has 9 targets over the last 2 weeks, 7 receptions, and he has over 60 yards in both of those games. His average depth of target is about 18.3 yards per game, and over the last 2 weeks, he has been their best zone defense beater. He is their number 1 graded receiver against zone defenses, and that's something Dallas does a ton of, and they do a ton of it very poorly, so poorly to the point that they were resorting to a lot more man over the last 3 weeks, actually at a top 10 rate, something we never see the Cowboys doing. So they're really just lost in Dallas, both defensively and especially in coverage. They're not doing a good job of generating pressure. They rank 25th in sack percentage, and that's a huge reason as to why they have not helped the secondary. So I like Zay Jones. I took the over 1.5 receptions. I laddered the yards too with Betalytics. This is Betalytics approved. They like the yards. They like the receptions. They didn't give me the okay on the touchdown, but I did bet that anyways at plus 450. I'm kind of a sicko, and Dallas has given up 15 touchdowns to opposing wide receivers. He is the wide receiver 3, but you never know. You never know.
Slop talked about it earlier. He likes.
I know.
His
I
yards.
was going to say Zay Jones is popular on this network today.
If Zay Jones puts up an old goose egg, a lot of the BNN people are going to be rolling in piss tonight. No, you also said, I don't know if you mentioned this too, he is from the Dallas area as well. He's around,
yes, I forgot to mention that he is from the Dallas area. He's played. I
didn't want B-Dot to have to tell me that I wasn't listening, but
I actually realized that because you said something on AGW today saying that you were looking to see if there's ever anything kind of like hometown, and I was like, let me just take a look at Zay Jones here. And I looked at it, and I was like, he's from Texas. 2 games, 11 receptions across the 2 games. He's got 164 yards, 3 touchdowns. All 3 touchdowns, though, came in 1 game that wasn't here in Dallas. This might be his last game playing against the Cowboys here in Dallas, too. It's not often that the Cardinals or whoever he's playing for are going to make the trip to Jerry's world. But I got some friends and family, you know what I mean? I just think it might be a little bit fun if he gets into the end zone and does a little dance, and we all catch a plus 450, right?
Jerry's world. I will say, too, if you like this prop, just ladder it. He's had 60 and 70 receiving yards in back-to-back weeks. His line is 20 and a half. You're going to get kick-ass value on 50 plus, and he could hit all of that. And because he's usually good for one big pop play too. His longest reception is a nice way to take him as well. So if you do kind of like the Zay Jones angle, you heard about it earlier. You just heard about V taking it. Just go ahead and ladder that puppy up and then sprinkle in a touchdown if you're feeling frisky. I'll take. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I have 1 touchdown score left over from yesterday from my touchdown piece. It's McBride. The line's definitely changed, and I think it's sitting closer to plus 110. A lot of line movement there, but in my opinion, it's still a solid spot. McBride has seen 8 red zone targets over the last 2 weeks. He has 3 touchdowns in that time, and Dallas is just giving up a shit ton of passing touchdowns. His connection with Brissett has been fantastic, and I think he's seeing like a 30% target share over the last 2 weeks too. Don't quote me on that. I have to pull that up again, but he's just looked fantastic, and nobody's benefiting more than Jacoby being under center than like a guy like McBride. Like the big tight end benefits a lot when his QB can see over the line of scrimmage. I don't know. I guess that was something that not everybody, was keen to, but now they figured it out.
All right, well, sticking with the tight ends, and I'll let Danny close us out with his favorite prop in this game too. I took the other tight end, and I'm taking him kind of on a situation of a narrative spot on the fact that he was bad last week against Denver. No catches, 1 target. Give me Turd Ferguson over 39.5 receiving yards. I like his touchdown as well at plus 130. And chat, go ahead and just give that a little dust to the first touchdown, plus 800. He's been Dak's favorite target in the red zone. He has coming off 3 straight games where he has not hit his receiving yards line. But the Arizona Cardinals defense has been better against the pass. However, they are really bad against tight ends. The last 5 tight ends that they've faced, they've gone way over their receiving yards line. Tucker Kraft, RIP, sorry, V. 58 receiving yards. Tyler Warren, Chig Okonkwo, Gunnar Helm, AJ Barner, and Jake Tongas have all hit their receiving yards line against this defense. I think that Dak's going to be looking for old Turd Ferguson to get over the line. I like the latter, too, if you want to roll this up to 50 or 60 if you're feeling so frisky. And, again, the plus money on the touchdown, and maybe he finds the end zone first. So give me Jake Ferguson over 40+ to get the Cowboys offense moving and grooving as well. Other one that I like as well, sticking on the offensive line before Danny closes us out, nice and chalky. I'm taking CeeDee Lamb, 80+ receiving yards. The last 5 primetime Monday Night Football games that CeeDee Lamb has played, he's gone over this receiving yards line at home. Anytime a diva, and I'm not saying diva in a bad way, just like superstar diva wide receiver is on primetime on Monday Night Football, I usually look at taking them, especially in good advantageous situations, and this is a good advantageous situation. So I think 80+ is very much so on the table. I like the latter two at 100+. Dak is probably going to target him 10 to 11 times, maybe more, depending on how this offensive game plan goes. And if this does turn into a shootout, this could just be absolutely free. So I think CD is also looking around the NFL, seeing guys like JSN showing out, Jamar Chase, even though Jamar Chase wasn't really awesome against the Bears specifically, but he's had huge weeks too. And I think CD is going to want to get out there and show everybody that he's still a big boy. And this is the best time to do it on prime time in front of everybody at home. So give me CD 80+, nice and chalky, but I like it, whatever line you have. There's various lines out there. Look for the best line available. Obviously, our friends about online have great lines. If you want to go get involved with their stuff with our promo code BNBOL with that QR code right above our heads. But give me CD to have a big night tonight. All right, Danny, close us out. Give us all those overs we just talked about. Feed us an under.
All right, here's an under for you. How about Dak Prescott under 37.5 pass attempts minus $1.17? Now he's averaging about 36 on the year, but certainly that's been inflated due to the Cowboys playing in a lot of games where they're trailing and they need to throw consistently because of how bad their defense is. And yeah, that definitely could be the case even against a team like Arizona, but I do lean toward Dallas being the right side in this game. And I think not only are they going to be leading, thus abandoning throwing the ball a little bit more, but also I think they just try to emphasize the ground attack maybe more than usual too, because this Arizona defense certainly has their vulnerabilities. They've gotten a little bit better in the secondary, but Dallas brings in a top 10 rushing offense in EPA and success rate. Defensively with Arizona, SBJ kind of alluded to it at the beginning of the show. Now it's a defense with flaws, but they do have some bright spots throughout that secondary. They're allowing just 9.7 yards per completion. That's 8th. They rank 10th in completion percentage allowed at 63.5%. So there are some bright spots where maybe Dak isn't going to be consistently moving the ball down the field and just padding these numbers. And furthermore, maybe if he does, it could be those more explosive boom plays that limits how much he needs to consistently throw to get into the red zone and then score. But this number is really just inflated in general because of what the numbers have shown so far for him this season and because of this game being a high total. But the only times he's gone over were 2 overtime games and then another game against my Bears where they were just getting their butts handed to them. So again, it was just pass. And that shouldn't be the case tonight. And you look at guys against Arizona too, like you only had a couple quarterbacks throw this much against them because you don't really need to. You could run it and be successful. Bryce Young threw 55 times. Mac Jones threw 41 times. Otherwise, every quarterback they face have stayed under. No, that doesn't mean it's going to translate directly to Dak. But the point being is that there's other ways to beat them than just by throwing it. And their secondary is a little bit better than people are giving them credit for. Inflated number, taking it under in a game that may have a lot of overs. But give me Dak Prescott under 37.5 pass attempts, fellas.
I mean, he could go well over his passing yards and only throw the ball 35 times, and you're chilling.
Yeah, and I almost did both too, but you're right. Like that's kind of what kept me off. I'm like, there could be these huge plays to CeeDee Lamb and Pickens that could just absolutely kind of kill it. But I thought this would be a little bit of a safer route.
Before we move past Monday Night Football, I said this earlier, and I just want to get it out here on Betspresso too. I'm riding with our dog Crazy Pellet. I liked this when I was looking at Brissett because I lapped Brissett pretty heavily. I'm taking his anytime touchdown. I got plus 550 earlier. It has dropped now to plus 460 WCLV. I've seen these. We've seen so many quarterbacks scramble into the end zone yesterday, this weekend specifically. Why not another one on Monday Night Football? All right, boys. Anything else for Monday Night Football, or should we swing and talk some NBA?
Let's swing. Whoa. Yeah, let's go to the NBA.
All right now. Let's talk some NBA. Big NBA slate tonight across the National Basketball Association. And, of course, they're pulling out the bullshit already as the Los Angeles Lakers have decided to sit Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves tonight, taking on the Blazers in one of the later games. DB, I know you wrote about quite a few of these games in a best bets piece at bettingnews.com. So I'll let you kind of lead us off and talk about your favorite props on the hardwood tonight.
Yeah, the Lakers are dead to me, guys. I took Los Angeles.
Welcome. V feels the same way, so you fit in perfectly around these.
They've never been alive to me.
All right, good. We've got common ground there, baby. Yeah, I wrote an article, and naturally, right after I published it, I went on air for any given wager, and then as SPJ informed me, they proceeded to announce they're going to be sitting everybody. But you know what's funny? Sometimes that happens, and that team still somehow makes some magic happen. So I'm holding out. But I did take Lakers plus 3.5, and then I had Drew Holiday under 16.5 points. Certainly a lot of that handicap played around the fact that Reeves and Doncic were going to play. But we'll skip over that. A couple other props that I did pull the trigger on. DeMar DeRozan under 22.5 points scored tonight, while the Kings are on the road in the Mile High City against the Denver Nuggets. Plain and simple, we know that DeMar DeRozan, especially me being a Bulls fan, having the pleasure to watch him, I mean, he's the mid-range king, right? He lives and dies with his shot attempts from mid-range. Denver's third in opponent field goal percentage from mid-range. Opponents only knocking down 36.7% of those attempts. And then seventh in just shot rate allowed from mid-range. 26% of opponent shot attempts are coming from the mid-range area. So I think DeRozan's going to be limited a little bit, and just because it's a tougher matchup in general. So I like the under for DeMar DeRozan, 22 in the hook. Another one, how about Jarris Walker under 14.5 points, minus 107. Now, certainly with the Pacers being a bit more banged up, you need someone like Walker to step up, but this number seems a bit inflated. He's averaging just 12 points per game. A majority of his shot attempts are coming from beyond the arc. Milwaukee is above average at defending around the three-point line, though. 11th in opponent three-point attempt rate, 37% of the shot attempts coming from there, and 14 in opponent field goal percentage from deep, 35.5%. Again, tougher matchup against a good team in Milwaukee in general. Numbers a bit higher than it should be. I like his under. And then this is one that I've kind of been tinkering with every now and again. Cooper Flagg under 6.5 rebounds. I like the fact that they were giving us even money. I haven't checked lately, but this morning when I wrote it, it was around there and available at the spot. The rookie's averaging just 6 rebounds per game, but more importantly, he's going up against the Houston Rockets, who have the number 1 rebound percentage in the NBA. So I think that's going to limit his chances. And just again, this number should be more priced to like the under being minus $120 or somewhere higher than that. He hasn't been consistently getting over this mark. So now you're giving me plus money against the best rebounding team in the NBA. I think it's a good look to the under for Cooper Flagg.
Love it. I've given you credit, Danny, because as you know, we all like betting overs around here, especially in the NBA. But I will tell you that you're very sharp with your unders, especially in props. So far you've been good on the season. So if you guys like, a lot of people in the chat like tailing unders and like betting unders. So you're definitely leaning into that side of things, which I give you credit for. And it sucks that the one over that you were thinking about taking, or I guess the coverage of a team was the Lakers, and then it shit the bed, unfortunately. But like you said, they'll probably go and win out right now.
I thought it was a little revenge spot. They got Luka this time around. Sook's not happy with me though, but
in the NBA, it's what is it? Buy the bad news, right? That's what you're supposed to do in the NBA. You buy the bad news. It never works out when you go and you slam a team because somebody's out. And as somebody that bet opposite of the Hornets the other night when LaMelo was out of the lineup, but bet the Hornets a few nights ago before that with LaMelo in the lineup, I lost both bets. So ain't shit about shit in the NBA.
So
it's how it goes, baby. It's how it goes. And then some guys just get ruled out randomly for no reason. I'm going to go rapid fire through mine because I've got quite a few and they're all over. So I'm not going to solo screen myself. I'm just going to say them off to you guys. I'm taking Giannis. I'm going back to my RA roots today. I took a lot of rebounds and assist props today. Give me Giannis over 18.5 rebounds and assists. Don't hate the triple-double sprinkle too. As you mentioned, Danny, this is a game that these two teams have played each other a lot. And when you look at the game logs of how many times Giannis has absolutely destroyed this team, it's a lot. He had a triple-double, a crazy 13-assist triple-double the last time he played against the Pacers last season. I think the 18.5 is very playable. Like it up to 19.5. And like I said, I don't hate the triple-double sprinkle if you want to go that direction. Next, let's go to a game between the Memphis Grizzlies in turmoil against the Detroit Pistons. Pistons going to the Beale Street, taking on Ja and company. Jaws starting tonight. I kind of was looking at maybe taking him because he's just one of the most emotional players in the league, and he's going to want to come out and play well after all the stuff that's going on around him right now. But I'm going the other direction. Give me Cade Cunningham over 14.5 rebounds and assists. He just had 18 assists in their game in Mexico. I think that he has a chance to come in and have a really good game against this really bad Memphis defense. This high total, I think, could be one of those games where we just see these guys run up and down the court, and Cade Cunningham should have some success in the dishing and the rebounding department. I don't hate his triple-double sprinkle, too, if you want to go that direction. Now let's move on to that Kings game. I like Sabonis in this matchup, the rebounds and assists. I did kind of look at that, but I'm going to take two other RAs in this one that are a little bit more kind of cheekier plays. Give me Dennis Schroeder over 7.5 rebounds and assists. Plus 105 is the line that I got on this. The starting point guard for the Kings this season has hit this line in 6 straight games, and in back-to-back games against the Nuggets last season as a member of the Detroit Pistons, had fantastic games against them, double-digit assists in one of those games. In the other game, he got well over this rebound and assist line with rebounds and assists, with almost just assists in that one as well. So I think Schroeder's going to continue to be kind of that 25 to 30 minute point guard player. You're probably not even going to notice, and you'll look up and he has like 9 or 10 or RA, and I feel good about that. The other one, this is kind of a narrative play. Russell Westbrook taking on his former team against the Nuggets here in the same matchup. Russell Westbrook coming off the bench for this Kings team. However, he's been fantastic for the Kings, as Russell Westbrook is wherever he goes and plays. Over 8.5 rebounds and assists at minus 125 feels very comfortable. He had 10 assists in their last game. He's hit this in 3 of his last 4, playing more substantial minutes. I think that he can come out and also, again, revenge on his mind, taking on Jokic and company. He's going to want to come out and show out against the dogs that he played with last year as well. This line has completely moved, so I don't really suggest. You can take it at 6.5 if you want to. Jake LaRavia, 5+ rebounds. I got minus 105 before the news about Reeves and Luka came out. This line does no longer exist, so you don't really have to listen to me talk about LaRavia anymore. But Jake LaRavia has been fantastic. We talked about him on Sauce Team. Shout out to Suk for bringing him up, and he's been great. He's starting tonight. Would not be surprised if he gets out there and just absolutely cooks. He's looked great for this team. Maybe he has a good game against the Blazers to help Danny win his Lakers bet. Random.
There we go.
Last one. I think Sauce is going to talk about this maybe a little bit deeper, but we got revenge as well. Norm Powell, over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, he's been out for the last few games against the Miami Heat, but he has been absolutely fantastic for the Heat since coming over for the Clippers. And, of course, the Heat are taking on the Clippers tonight. And I think that Sauceman kind of talked about this too when we were texting about this a little bit earlier. I think Norm Powell kind of had this one circled. So the last few games, he's kind of been resting up so he can play in this one. Now, I'm taking the PRA. If you want to just take the points, you can, because Norm is obviously known for his scoring and has been a fantastic scorer for the Heat so far this season. But if you look at his rebounding and his assisting numbers, he's been spectacular. 7, 6, and 9 rebounds and 4, 2, and 3 assists in games, just crushing his RA line if you want to go that direction at 5.5. But I don't want to take out the points, the narrative play. He's been great scoring the basketball against this team. He's going to want to go in his former gym where he basically rose to everybody knowing the name Norm Powell last year and go back and have a really good game. So I like the 25.5 PRA. Hopefully he plays. He is still questionable. I'm pretty sure that he is going to be in there, though. Hopefully he gives it a whirl. If it doesn't, it'll just void. But I think Norm Powell should have a good game tonight against his former squad. So, yeah, those are all the props that I like. I'll post it on the timeline later today before the games start. But those are the ones that I have. Some overs after the unders. Sauce man?
Just to talk about that Clippers Miami game. The reason that he's doing so well is because the Miami Heat are playing at a top 5 pace in the NBA. They've got a new offensive coordinator that they just brought over, and I think he is going to be a key piece. Shout out SPJ for bringing that to my attention. This is one of those things where they're running a completely new offense in Miami. This does not look like your Eric Spoelstra Heat team that puts their money on defense. They're giving up a shit ton of points, but they are scoring a shit ton of points. A lot of them are coming from the perimeter. A lot of them are coming in transition. Even Bam's taking more threes this year, and he's hitting a lot more. For that reason, I think that it's going to be a very competitive game. I think there's a lot of chances for points, rebounds, and assists. When you are moving in transition, you're not depending on one guy to kind of set up the offense because they don't have a true point guard. They have Davion Mitchell, who is playing so much minutes. Like, he's playing like good minutes, but he's not really their leader on offense. But I'm going on another direction, looking at the other side of the ball. James Harden, over 9.5 assists. I think that same thing that I just talked about points in transition is going to apply the other way. You got Harden and everybody on this Clippers team. You got Zubac, you got Kawhi. You have a bunch of different guys that can give you a bucket, especially in transition. And we know that's what Harden does really well. So give me the over 9.5 assists at plus 105. And then just taking it back. We'll start at the latest game and we'll go backwards. So now we're going to Jaylen Brown against the Utah Jazz. The Jazz ranked 25th in points allowed, 29th in assists allowed this year. They're giving up a shit ton of points, and they just got their backs blown out by the Hornets last night. Pause. But this is a situation in which we're going to see this Hornets or this Jazz team come out, give up a ton of points. The Celtics are finally clicking a little bit, and I think he's going to have a little bit to do with everything. He's rebounding more this year. He's also got a lot more of his hands in the potential assist department without Jason Tatum. So give me the over 35.5 PRA, and then we're going to cap it off with the monster. Giannis Antetokounmpo over 30.5 points. The Milwaukee Monster, he's been on an absolute tear. I don't know how else to pitch this, but he's averaging well over 30 points per game, closer to 35 points per game. He just had one of his lowest outputs of the year. I think it was like 27 he finished with, but I think he had a triple-double or close to. But this guy has to do everything for this offense. If he's not going to, they're going to lose. We saw it. He had 28 the other night, and they lost to the Kings. If they want to compete, if they want to win games, he's going to have to average close to 33. So give me Giannis against a beat-up, undersized front court in Indiana. And if you want to bet the Miles Turner revenge narrative, more power to you. I just don't got it in me to put money on Miles Turner anymore.
I got no reasons to do that. Sook also brought up a good point in the chat as well. Johnny Furphy is getting some run tonight for the Pacers, and we've talked about this over the last few years. Danny, we talked about this on Sauce Team a couple of years ago. The Milwaukee Bucks are the team that is followed the most in Australia because of when they drafted Andrew Bogut, was like 12 or 15 years ago.
They also had Joe Ingles.
Joe Ingles. They've had a lot of Australian players, and so anytime an Australian player plays the Milwaukee Bucks, especially in Milwaukee, for some reason they end up just cooking because they have like an affinity towards the Bucks.
Did Matthew Dellavedova play on the Bucks at all?
Yep, he did. Matthew Dellavedova did. Yep.
He did. Anytime there was another, I can't remember what it came up.
Bryson Daniels. If you look at his numbers against the Bucks, they go crazy.
Giddy has had a couple of triple doubles against the Bucks too.
It's big games against the Bucks. It's really funny.
It's pretty deep.
Yeah, Sook brought this to our attention last year, I think it was, or 2 years ago, and it's been a cash cow. He also just played 24 minutes, his highest output ever in an NBA game. They are very beat up. I mean, the Johnny Furphy game, it feels right.
Amen.
I love it.
After
PRA Tim.
It was PRA Tim. What do you think? All right, let's get to cooking, boys, because we got to get out of here. Vibes are high. Thanks for 1,000 you guys watching us across all the network. Thanks for our comment also from YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. I like this. I like Lamb quite a bit. I think that he does get into the end zone. I know you have a slip where you have Marvin Jr. getting into the end zone, Sauce Man. So I think that this is a fine sprinkle in this game. This is also one of those games, as we get to the point where we're going to throw some stuff together for a parlay here. Have some fun with this game. Like put some cups of coffee on some stuff, because this game could just turn into an absolute barn burner. Both of these teams do get to particular stretches where defense optional, and we could just see a shit ton of points. And you want to be on the side of that where you want to have some slips that maybe are looking fun by the halftime. So definitely don't overthink it. If you want to put a cup of coffee or a gumball or bucks on some things and have some fun on this Monday Night Football game, and hopefully we don't get a snooze fest tonight.
Yep.
Whew, baby. All right. Let's cook, boys. Let's have some fun.
Let's cook.
I think we do 2 plays from football and 2 plays from basketball. Make a nice little 4-legger, so we don't have to be totally overly invested on the football game.
That sounds good.
Where do we want to start in the football?
Well, like I was telling you earlier, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to add mine with the pass attempts, because we tried earlier. It was kind of a pain. I'm a fan of your Ferguson prop bets personally.
Yeah, I really like that narrative. Him coming back, National Tight Ends Day. Like, look at Bowers. He didn't get to play last week, but I mean, come on. McBride also too. He was tweeting last week. Oh, it's criminal having a bye week on National Tight Ends Day. I'm just saying.
That's not a bad way to look at it too. I mean, I'm down to take Turd Ferg if you guys are cool. I don't have CD in any parlays except for a lotto, so I could get down with some CD love too. But if you want to lean a little more with the Jake Ferguson plays, and chat, also help us out. Tell us what you guys think as well, and obviously cook your own parlays and have some fun. But if we want to do Ferguson, I'm cool. I'm into it.
I'm 41.5 with CD as well if you want.
Danny, are you going to hate it if we put a super chalky superstar in this play? Are you down with riding CD?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, hey, I got him on one of my fantasy teams. I'll be rooting for him.
All right now. Okay, we'll go CD.
On the other side of the ball, do we want to rock with Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I was going to say I don't have Zay Jones in anything.
Yeah,
so
V. we were talking about that earlier.
I
Like
mean,
him over 3.5 receptions, it seems incredibly low. So 4+, even though it's a little chalky, I think is a really good look.
For Marvin Harrison or Zay?
Yeah, for Marvin Harrison.
Yeah. I like that too. We go if you want to do Zay Jones SPJ for 2 receptions. I mean, shit, it's gonna be a sweat, but I'm down. I'm riding it. We can also do Marvin Harrison for 4.
I don't hate the Zay Jones one. We could do.
Do you want to do the catch? Do you want to do the catches, or do you want to do the yards for Zay Jones?
21 and a half. Let's go with the 2 receptions. 2 receptions. 2 receptions.
70-yard bomb only plays.
SPJ seems nervous about that one.
I am, but I will trust you guys. I will roll with it. I know B likes it a lot. Homie's in the house. Where is he at? Zay Jones receptions 2. Okay. 2 wide receivers. To get the vibes moving. We got ads. Oh man, let's sub up, my man. Just drop a sub. If you drop a sub, you don't have to watch any ads. It's like $5, $6. We help you make some money every single day. Give us a sub. We appreciate you. Or somebody in the chat, drop this man a beautiful sub. You guys are goated. All right, so those are 2 plays in the football. Let's swing to basketball. I really want to put one of Danny's unders in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Real bad.
Okay, there's one I read the scribbles earlier before we came on the show that really stuck out to me. Cooper Flag, right? You're going up against one of the toughest defenses and one of the toughest rebounding defenses. You got Steven fucking Adams on the other side of the ball, right? Almost the entire starting lineup is 6'7". They just don't want to admit it, right? Cooper Flag under 6.5.
I'm down.
I like it. It's minus 120 now, so you got a great number on that, Danny. You got plus money on that
plus
earlier?
100, right?
Yeah, even money.
You dirty dog.
Move quick.
Under 6.5 boards for Cooper Flag. All right, and then who's taking us home? You like Giannis, the points? I like the RA a little better than the points. But
you want to take us home with Norm?
Yeah, let's go, Norm. You down to take the Norm narrative, Danny?
That works with me.
PRA?
Norm cooking? Yeah, let's go PRA. Hang on, let me just find old Norm.
When we post a
Storm and Norm.
Everybody's either they're gonna think we got hacked or they're gonna think it's a typo on the parlay.
People are gonna be like, "You? What does you mean?" We don't know that letter. 24.5 for Norm. Storm and Norman. Plus 923. CD Lamb 80+ receiving yards. Zay Jones for 2 catches. Cooper Flag under 6.5 rebounds, and Norm Powell in his old stomping grounds over 24.5 PRA. Big bump bang.
Boys, not gonna lie.
I like it. I mean, I always feel good about it, though. Yeah. Danny, it's funny. When we first started the program, like almost 3 years ago, I said this way too often until Shaggy finally told me to stop saying it. I would always be like, I got a good feeling about this one.
Every show, Danny. When he says
almost every show.
No, every show.
But hey, man, I mean, I'm the type of bettor that I always got a good feeling about it.
Right.
Like, that's how you should bet.
If you don't like a parlay when you're placing it, what are we doing, right? If you don't think you can hit, what are we doing?
But then Shaggy eventually was like, dude, you have to stop saying this because you're saying it every day. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I feel that way every day. But then I kind of stopped doing it. So, but
oh, man.
All right, there's your Betspresso 4. Feel free to tail responsibly, as always, chat. You got a little bit of time to put these in. None of this starts here in this first little round of tip-offs here on the NBA in the next 20 minutes. Cooper Flag, under 6.5 rebounds. CD Lamb, 80 receiving yards. Zay Jones, 2 catches. Just catch the ball, Zay. Norm Powell, over 24.5 PRA against the former team, plus 923 if you would like to tail. Tail responsibly. Bet responsibly, as always. Tail all the plays that we talked about, though. Make your own parlays. Have some fun out there, as always. Go read the scribbles at bettingnews.com. Get involved with all of our free content over there as well. We have an awesome team of people giving you guys the best sports betting information and hopefully some sports betting entertainment every single day. And you guys giving you the vibes. Go follow Danny Burke at DannyBurke5. Go follow Vsauce at Vsauce with 3 A's. Follow myself at Sweatpan Jesus. Go follow all of us at Your Betting News on the socials. Get involved with all of our social content. Get involved with our sponsors at Bet Online as well if you'd like to deposit. We'll have a announcement tomorrow for the Season of Giving is coming back. We're doing the Season of Giving leading up to Thanksgiving. where we're going to be donating a proceeds of all of our parlays that we hit for the month of November, and we will be donating that to Feed for America before Thanksgiving for all the underprivileged people and a lot of people that lost SNAP benefits over the last few days here in the United States. So a lot of you guys remember that from last year. We're going to be doing that again as well. If you feel free to get involved with the community, we'll have a pot from all of us, smacking parlays and donating money for a good cause over the next month as well. I'll have information about that tomorrow. So that'll be show, boys. You guys got anything else before we hop out of here?
That's fantastic, boys. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday. Let's end week 9 on a high note, and hopefully we boost V spirits just a little bit. You know, he needs it. So let's get a nice trifecta of wins here from us three and everybody in the chat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you guys follow us on YouTube or on Twitch, you'll get the notifications when we go live. We have a triple dip for you guys tomorrow. The guys will be live. Up your units on Tuesdays starting now because we have Super Tuesday and college basketball starting as well. The old college trial will be live tomorrow too. And then Betsky and I will be back with you guys talking hockey in the evening for Puckett. So give us a follow on all the socials. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us. And we will catch you on the next one. Take it easy, chat. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep. Right here. Rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling. What you gonna do? Down in the rolling. What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit. What you know about?